I recently was on Michael Shermer's podcast.
Right.
And he asked me a very interesting question that I want to ask you.
Uh-huh.
He said to me, so you're religious? I said, yes, I'm religious. He said, okay, well, here's a question for you. Why are you Jewish and not Christian?
Oh, I get that every day. I get that. There hasn't been a time in my life. We were just talking right before we got on about how Christians often say, you know, I think you're the most prayed for man in America, and I think it's true because of the many wonderful Christians who pray that I receive Christ. And I don't take that, by the way, I just want to make it clear. I'm not only not offended, I'm actually touched by it. These people really do love me, and I love them. Look, that's a whole fascinating discussion. I have that every year. I have Ask a Jew, Ask a Gentile with a prominent Christian thinker, and the issue, of course, comes up. I believe that Revelation as such ended with the Old Testament. And now, so of course, a Christian will say, yes, that's fine. And Jesus was foreshadowed in the Old Testament. So it's a matter of faith. My biggest issue is I don't believe that anybody could die for my sins. I mean, I have that issue. I have the issue of the divinity of Jesus. I don't have the issue with the messianic claims. By the way, I always explain to Christians, the Jews' problem was not that there were Jews who believed that Jesus was the Messiah. That never would have made the Jewish-Christian separation. The Jewish-Christian separation was over claims that he was God. And that went to the heart of Jewish theology. But of course, it's a triune God for the Christian, and I do believe Christians are monotheists even with a triune God. But look, my view is that Christians true to their faith are doing God's work. That's what I believe. And as Maimonides, who was no fan of Christianity or Islam, because he was persecuted by both, the greatest Jewish thinker, many think, he said it's Christians who brought the world to the Torah more than Jews did. And I never forget that. That's a fact. The reason people know the word Genesis or Leviticus or Deuteronomy is because of Christians. In fact, I'm very sad about Jews getting as closed in their world as they did. God didn't choose the Jews to hide. God chose the Jews to spread his word. So, which is what I've devoted my life to, just as a side thought. But it's interesting that Michael Shermer, who's an atheist, would have asked you that question. So I will tell you a question I asked Michael Shermer, which I ask every atheist. And the answer to this question reveals to me whether I think the atheist is intellectually honest or not. Do you hope you're right or wrong?
Oh, it's such a good question.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I asked it, and it's probably on YouTube. And when push came to shove, to his credit, he said, of course I'd want to see my family after I die. Of course I hope I'm wrong. Okay, and it's the atheist who hopes he's right who is a fool. Not all atheists are fools, and not all religious people are wise, but the atheist who hopes he's right is a fool. You really want this world to be empty, devoid of meaning? You really want it to be a sheer material coincidence? You really want death to be the very end? Everything, every human, everything you've treasured, that is the end? You want that? Are you out of your mind, or have you not thought seriously about the consequences of atheism, which is true for half of them? They don't think the consequences. The Fireside Chat is made possible solely thanks to Prager United members. Please consider joining Prager United at pragerunited.com.